All right, excellent afternoon to all those who are watching me across the state. Somebody said, all right, because they know that that's the first word. I'll first of all, put out there. But guys, you know what? Africa's potential is not lying underneath our soil of Africa as natural resources, but it lives on top as humans. Africa can reach its potential only when and after we as Africans have united in our strength and diversity. The tension between Nigeria and Libya is one good example why the strength and unity of Africa have been undermined by the Europeans and, of course, the Westerners. Again, I say welcome to another interesting episode of Real Talk with Kike. I remain your convener, your executive producer, your scriptwriter, your content director. My name remains Kike Atanda-Owo. I think it's important for us to hear what on this day in this history segment has for us. And when I return, I'll give my 2 cents on it. Stay with me. I'll be right back. All right, many thanks for staying with me. Alhaji Shehu Shagari's 1979 inauguration, marks Nigerians' return to civilian rule after years of military governance. And this milestone on this day's issue segment remains relevant today as it highlights the ongoing challenges of sustaining democracy, emphasizing on the importance of stability, the governance, political maturity, and of course the need to protect democratic institutions in modern Nigeria. That's my takeaway from on this day in history segment today. It's time for us to get a quick message from my sponsors, those who have put me on this platform. Let's get a message from them. When I return, we'll dive straight to the main conversation. Stay with me. I'll be right back. All right, many thanks for staying with us. Nigeria's national football team, the Super Eagles, boycotted their African Cup of Nations AFCON qualifier against Libya after being stranded at the Abra airport for over 16 hours, and the flight had been unexpectedly diverted from 250 kilometers away from Benghazi, the match venue, with no food, no transportation or water provided. And Captain William Ekong accused Libya authority of using mind games to disrupt the team's preparation. In response to Libya, Libya, denied deliberation sabotage, blaming routine air traffic protocols, and of course CAF is now investigating this situation, in terms of raising the broader questions about player welfare, governance, and of course logistics in African football today. On the live show, we will rather have real talk on how Nigerians' experience is affecting soccer development in Africa, the tension between Libya and Nigeria, and of course the potential reforms needed to protect athletes. My guests will be answering potential questions on how the incident reflected on the broader challenges within African sports, especially when it comes to governance as well, with the implications at hand, and for Nigerians' qualifications in terms of what are the hopes in there for us? What sort of mind games are Libyans playing? Before we delve into real talk with my guest, I think it's important for us to play his profile. And when I return, we'll be hearing his voice. Please stay with me. I'll be right back. All right, welcome to the show, Mr. Mutsu Adepoju. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you on Real Talk with Kike again today. A special thank you for obliging me on this issue at hand, for you to provide authoritative comment on the ongoing Libya and Nigerian saga in football. How are you doing today, sir?
Yeah, very well. Thank you very much for inviting me, and good afternoon.
Excellent.
Good afternoon, everyone. Watching, and it's my pleasure to be in your show.
For always, obliging me. And of course, it's an honor to have worked closely with you for 5 years. But putting that aside, I want to believe that there's some form of vendetta by the Libyans for them to have treated our national team that way. When we take a retrospect into how Nigerians have been treated in Libya over time, we will see that Libya has, over the last few years, been putting Nigerians in prison and even restricting our nationals. So I recall many of the issues that led to evacuation of Nigerians over the few years, or over the last few years. So my question now, with what I've just said, is that holding our national theme to hostage, what do you think informed such an action? Your colleagues, the Super Eagles coach, stated that he doesn't know why they would behave in such a manner or in such a way.
Well, thank you. Firstly, you said, about, you talked about, vendetta. I want to ask, vendetta for what? And I was just thinking that, maybe because the allegation when they came last week that they made against them in Nigeria and all that. So I don't think, that should be. They have their own mindsets and they have the way. And what they did is, condemnable. And I think, it's in the world today, it's not supposed to be so. And I just think that, the spirit of sportsmanship and the Olympic spirit and everything that involved in sports was not put in place by them, and I think they did them very wrong. By taking them hostage. I don't know if they had done anything. Nobody has done anything and all that for them to treat them like that. The professional players that are just coming to play a single game, just one game. They are not coming to your country to do anything than play football and then get out of the country. So I don't know what informed or what brought about that kind of treatment that was meted to them.
All right. Many thanks for that submission, because the reason why I asked that question, the pilot who flew our national team to Libya in an interview yesterday revealed that it was the higher authority who denied them the right to land at the initial destination, rerouting their flight to another airport at Abarak, rather, where our team was held hostage. So this indicates that the Libyan government was complicit to this arrangement. What are your thoughts with this?
Well, I don't know what would have happened. I don't know if it's a technical issue and all that. But I think this is a situation. Game of football, which I believe is nothing else is supposed to be attached to it. And if the highest authority commanded them to divert them to another airport, I don't know what the reason or the basis for that. This is football that we are talking about, and if the government or the highest authority want to be involved in football, and they should be withdraw from it and continue playing the politics or whatever they are playing. They shouldn't have involved football contingent and all that. So I don't want to talk much about that because I don't know what really happened and all that. All what I knew or what I know is that they held the football players, professionals that are coming to play a football game hostage, and that kind of treatment is not supposed to happen in football. I just believe that's the way. That's not the way they should be treated.
Many thanks again for that submission. football was meant to be a unifier, or it should be a unifier and a game to show sportsmanship, like you said earlier. However, the treatment our boys received left them with traumatic experience at Libya. So I must ask you, what impact will this incident of holding our boys hostage affecting the boys mentally, affecting the ties between Nigeria and Libya, and even the even after CAF, because CAF is currently handling the incident and investigation that have begun with the evidence, spreading over social media. Do you think will be some justice to this without bias? What's your take on this?
Well, justice is, what I believe, should be done to this. Firstly, like I said earlier on, it's a game of football. And every player and everybody should be at his highest, optimum level of fitness before playing, going into the field, both mentally, physically, and all. And these players have traveled long hours to get there, and it's uncalled for a national team that is representing a nation. And they are not just going there for a friendly match. It's already scheduled. Which Confederation of African Football know about it, and they are going to play the CAF competition to qualify for AFCON. So they are not just going there to do any other thing. And what they should have done is, allow them, because the players need optimum rest, and they have to be in their optimum performance. And for players, traveling that long hours and leaving them that hours, I think it's uncalled for. So I think I don't know what CAF is going to do, or they are on investigation about it. And I just believe that the right thing is supposed to be done, and I believe they will do justice to it.
Thanks again. Before we go on a quick break, let me ask you, as a soccer authority and ex-Super Eagles national, what do you think would happen to the point of our team towards qualification at the AFCON? What's your take on it, especially when I'm looking back on some of the comments on social regarding mind games or mismanagement? Nigeria's capital, accused Libya of mind games, while Libya denies foul play. My main question now is, how often do we see this kind of logistical disruption as tactics in international football, and how can they be handled going forward?
Sadly, we see it often, because I think, from some other countries too, we had that tactics, that other countries or other clubs use when our clubs or national team goes, to play away games. And I think, in the world today, it's not supposed to be done. Human being is, irrespective of what you are playing or what this thing, football is a game, and I believe everybody should be in the right condition, and players should be treated, or countries should be treated with the right conditions, so that they can be able to compete in the right condition. I believe it's a tactics to demoralize, to weaken, and both mentally and physically the team, because if you don't have optimum rest, it's very difficult for you to perform in the highest level. And I think that's what the tactics they were using, so that their team can have advantage over the Super Eagles. And I believe it's not supposed to be so. Everyone supposed to compete at the highest, at their optimum level of fitness. And I think this is what they are trying to do, to make sure that they get the 3 points, and which I believe in football today and in the world today is not supposed to be done.
All right, it's not supposed to be done, but let's look at the security concerns in African football, because when we look at the travel and security concerns which are common in many parts of Africa today, should CAF or local governments take more precautions when hosting international matches in, in a conflict-prone areas like this?
Yes, definitely in football, and there has to be tight security and the lives of both the players, the hosts, and the visitors has to be taken into consideration, and their lives has to be considered and protected. So I believe security is very very important in game of football, in which I believe the security was arranged for them when they came to Nigeria last week, and they were able to go without any problem. No friction, nothing happened to them, and they got back to their country without any problem and anything. So why, wouldn't they be able to do that? For Nigeria, just immediately when it was just last week they came to Nigeria, and Nigeria is going there immediately a few days after to go and play the second leg. So I think it's very important. The security in with in football, and with the players going to play in another country.
All right, many thanks again. Let's go on a quick break, and when I return, the conversation will continue. Please stay with me. I'll be right back. This is Real Talk with Kike. All right, glad to know you're still right there with us. If you are just tuning in, this is Real Talk with Kike, and of course, I've been discussing the dramatic boycott by Nigerian Super Eagles in their AFCON qualifier against Libya after being stranded for over 16 hours in an airport far from their match destination. The team, led by Captain William Ekong, made the decision to return home in protest. With us is Mr. Adepoju, former Super Eagles legend, a La Liga ambassador, to dive deeper into the impact of what is on ground, especially when it comes to African football and beyond. And I must say many thanks, sir, for all that you have shared thus far. Quite a number of people refer to him as the headmaster in football. So headmaster, football legend Mutiu Adepoju, many thanks for creating time to do this with us every time we reach out to you. And definitely, I think it's important for me to quickly use this medium to open a platform. Remember, you can be part of this conversation by calling the studio number 0811-8888-113, and of course it will be showing on the screen soon. And we're streaming live on Facebook, both on Real Talk with Kike platform and on Silverbird platform. So, sir, with all that you have shared thus far, I must ask you, player welfare in African football is really important. Nigerian players reported being stranded without food, like I said earlier in my intro, food, water, Wi-Fi for hours. So the question now is, how can football authorities, improve conditions for players, especially in Africa where infrastructure can be a challenge?
Well, I just think that it's just this situation in Libya, and which they diverted the flight from the normal airports to airports that is that is not functioning. Would I say that? And it's just unheard of. To see that human being can be treated that way, and where there is no food, no water, and anything can happen to the players. At that moment for so many hours, and we know that we all need water, we need food to function, and we need good rest. And talking about footballers, they need all these things. And enough rest to be able to perform optimally. And if that is out of it, I think it's something that unheard of, and I don't just think that it was done on purpose. Well, like I said earlier on, I don't know what really happened, but I still believe that, I mean, they could have done better, and we wouldn't be talking now about, I mean, this kind of situation.
Okay, finding ourselves in this situation because the power dynamics in African football governance is another thing to bring to fore because CAF's response will be crucial in determining how the issue will be resolved or the issue is resolved. How much influence do you think national federations have in addressing conflicts like this compared to what CAF's governance is doing? Because the comparison with other sports now is another thing. How does this comparison or disruptions in terms of the protests in other global sports be brought to fore? Could football adopt solutions used by other sports in dealing with travel mishaps and player welfare concerns?
Well, I think and I believe that, I mean, the CAF is going to do justice, I mean, to it, because, I mean, looking at the way probably as we are looking at it, I mean, as Nigerians, probably if they look at it, I mean, the other way, but whichever way that, I mean, one looks at it, there is nobody that deserves to be treated that way. And I would like, I mean, CAF to see it that way too. Because, I mean, if you go to a country, yes, I mean, we've been traveling all over in Europe, even in Africa here. And I mean, yes, if you are going to be at the airport, you must have, I mean, access to be able to eat. You must have access to be able to drink, which are the, I mean, basic things that, I mean, we live for, and that make us, I mean, function. And if in this situation something like this happen, I mean, it looks as if, I mean, it's intentional. That, I mean, it was intentional, and I believe, I mean, CAF should be able to see it in a way that, I mean, they are going to do justice to it. I don't want to preempt or say this, I mean, the way it should be because I'm a Nigerian. Definitely, I will support Nigeria. I don't support the way they were treated. And if, I mean, somebody else was treated like that in Nigeria, I will not be in support of, I mean, that, because everybody needs equal condition to be able to compete. So in this, I mean, wise, I think, I mean, CAF, I mean, should be able to decide a better way, and, I mean, should be able to come with, I mean, a conclusion and give, I mean, justice to what, I mean, has happened.
Many thanks again, sir, with all your submission thus far. But I must ask you, using technology today, because social media's role in exposing all the challenges, all the issues we have at hand is another thing I want to touch on because, Ekong and other players used social media to share their grievances. I must ask, has social media become the best platform for athletes to voice concerns about injustice that they face on the field and off field? Because when you look at the history of what has been happening thus far in the football industry and how they've been maltreated, social media is one tool that has been used to bring to news what has been happening. What's your take thus far with the app social media in bringing us to speed with all that is happening behind cameras?
Well, I think, I mean, it's a good thing in a way that, I mean, we are able to see everything that is happening. And yes, I mean, social media sometimes, I mean, give a good account of, I mean, what is done exactly. And I mean, with this, the world is open with social media, and everybody can see, and everybody can say that, I mean, okay, this is what happened, and this is what, I mean, happened, and all that. So I believe, I mean, it's good that, I mean, we have it so that, I mean, some things that, I mean, are hidden is, I mean, put into the notice and into the eyes of, I mean, the world, so that, I mean, everybody can see what is happening. So I think, I mean, it has done greatly and, I mean, good for us to be able to see all this, I mean, kind of thing that is happening.
This will be my last question to you. Because Nigerians are one of the best hosts with hospitality in the world, regardless whether it's sports or entertainment or anything else. Africans treating Africans that way. What's what stain would that leave for the global world of sports with regards to African hosting non-African nations if they treated their neighbors like this? What's your take on this question? This will be my last question to you.
Well, I think, it's not giving justice, to them because the world is watching, and the way you treat your brother is the way people are going to see how you are, and that's, what has happened, and it might be very difficult for where people are not welcomed, and where they treat people badly, it will be very difficult, for people to want to go to that, place. So I believe it has not done good for them, for Libya, and talking, about this. It has not done good for Libya because the whole world has seen what has happened and all that, and it might be to the detriment. So I just believe that we should continue treating ourselves very well, because the world is watching, everybody is watching, and it will give them a good image of our country, of our continent, in the face of the world and all that. So I think they should have done better in that one.
Thanks again for all your elaborate submission thus far, and it's been an interesting time with you, with all your submission. Of course, lending your voice on issues that affect us all. But I'm moving on to this last segment of the show that we call Trending Stories. These are stories that bind us as Africans, as Nigerians. And the first trending story that caught my attention is that of the earpiece that breaks silence on fresh allegations. So they said, fresh allegations against the CEO. But I must quickly, this is where I have my opinion as a host, as the founder of this platform. In response to the 2019 and current accusation against Dr. Allen Onyema, it's important to clear up this misunderstanding around the claims of money laundering and fraud. Dr. Onyema has strongly denied this accusation, making it clear that all transactions were thoroughly done through the bank and no one lost money. The payment for the aircraft was simply to pay back an American company that helped Airpeace to buy and repair the planes, not money laundering. So it's also important to also note that no grants or free money were received for this transaction. The claim that Dr. Onyema's piecework was a fraud doesn't even make sense to me at all. Doesn't make sense to quite a number of people. It's non-violence program which helped and end the militants in Niger Delta was praised worldwide. So this program, which led to the government amnesty program under President Yar'Adua, has transformed over 30,000 ex-militants and was even recognized by international bodies like the U.S. government and the EU. So a former U.S. ambassador to Nigeria even wrote in support of Dr. Onyema, highlighting the good work that he did, despite being cleared of any wrongdoing by the EFCC. The U.S. authorities are still pushing these charges. All 5 planes involved in the transaction are registered and flying in Nigeria, showing that there was no illegal activity. This whole issue seems to be a misunderstanding between how business is done in Nigeria and in the U.S. So Airpeace has always operated openly with integrity, even playing a big role during the COVID-19 pandemic by helping Nigerians when it mattered most. So these accusations are unfair and unjust and seems like an attempt to damage Dr. Onyema's reputation and bring down Airpeace, which has been a huge help to the country today. Nevertheless, let me quickly use this medium as well to exonerate Mrs. Ejiro, the chief financial officer of Airpeace. She has been wrongly dragged into this accusation without any basis. It's important to recognize that journalists spreading these false narratives are only engaging in blackmail. Yes, I'm saying that. When a matter is still in court, it's important for everyone to show caution or and avoid making premature judgments. Media houses and those peddling mischiefs should be held accountable for their actions. They must be held accountable for their actions. A strong rejoinder will follow against anyone trying to damage reputation and through this misinformation that is spreading out there. And I just feel that, sometimes I wish I could actually express my thought fully when it comes to the types of journalists we have there. But you know what? Let me come to you. Mr. Adepoju, what's your take on this? I'm sure you must have seen this story.
Well, I've heard about and seen the story. Actually, it's something that I don't know much about, and I won't be able to comment much on it. But definitely, I believe Dr. Alex Oyema has been a kind of support and help to the economy of Nigeria, and he has been doing greatly. And like you said, the way he helped in the COVID period and all that. So this allegation is what I don't know, where it's coming from. And I believe he's a strong man, and he's straightforward and all that. He will be able to overcome all this allegation and levied against him, because I know him as a very gentleman and hardworking man, and somebody that have the love of the country in mind, and that's why he has been doing everything that he has been doing. So I just pray and believe that he's going to overcome all this and come out of it, so that air peace, we can have air peace. So many years flying all over the world, and bringing business and even helping Nigeria in all aspects of the economy.
Many thanks for your submission on the first trending story. So let's move to the second trending story, which is the two-story building collapse in Orile Igomu, Lagos. And again, I just want to address this from a different point of view today, because other journalists have given, or they gave various comments from the angle of government actions or inactions, regulatory bodies, the developer, name it. Before I go further, I will restate again for us to know, or for us to, kind of deal with this from the angle of history. Between 2009 and 2019, 56 buildings collapsed in Nigeria, with 34 of those in Lagos. Between 2020 and 2022, 10 buildings collapsed in Lagos, ranging from 1 to 21 stories. Now, the progress has not stopped. It's happening almost every quarter or every 2 months, if I'm not mistaken. So this is what corruption does. That's the angle I'm coming from today. We don't see the effect of bribery or mismanagement or misfeats or nepotism, favoritism, name it, in one day. It manifests years to come because of the syndrome of, he is my person, I have to reward that position or give the contract or whatever to this person's office. We keep putting the wrong people, quacks, in offices where experts should be, jeopardizing the standards and quality and lives of people. A person who is not trained to be an architect or a civil engineer claims to be a builder or a developer and keep building houses. If the houses may not fall today, so to speak, they will fall in the next 5 to 10 years to come. So all houses built in the Lagos in the last 20 years should be placed in serious scrutiny, and other integrity should be tested. Otherwise, we may keep experiencing this and keep using it as opposed to say another disaster have approached again, it has happened again. It is better to lose sand and stones in demolition than to lose lives. If you're a landlord in the last 20 years, or you just assume that you just got an apartment in the last 20 years in Lagos, caution is to be taken, especially in slum areas, where populated areas like those where this incident happened now, where the recording took place, where the building collapsed. So to the government, reinforcing the right thing, investigate the right offices, carrying out extensive correctional interventions, and keep doing the right thing all the blood of innocent lives will be in our hands or will be on your hands. Maybe that's the word to use right now, because I just feel that for how long will this continue? For how long are we going to continue to experience this culture? A culture that is taking lives and property. I thank God that when this incident happened, no lives were lost. I saw from one of the posts from the Commissioner for Information, Motosho, putting it out there saying that there were no lives. People have been, the house has been empty for some weeks or months or thereabouts. I can't remember now. But just imagine if people were in there. Do you know how many lives would have gone? It's just so unfortunate, the kind of, I don't know. Sir, let me come to you. What's your take on this?
Well, it's very, very sad. Very, very sad. When I heard about it yesterday, I think I felt, for the lives of people living around there and in that vicinity. And I think, it's high time that, we look at things, holistically and see the way forward, because this, probably might be a kind of corruption things, in the past, or something that, is done that was not, done, very well. So it's, very sad to be having, this kind of situation. And I believe that, let's just, first thank God that, as it was said, that, no life was lost. But I believe that, some other people will be affected in that, thing. And I think it's high time that, the government, look into it and, try as much as possible to make sure that capable people are put into capable places to be able to function and then make things work accordingly and rightly, because a house, I don't know how many years that house has gotten, but I don't think that something like this should be happening in our lives as we are now.
All right, many thanks, for all your submission thus far. And we've come to another end of edition of Real Talk with Kike. Indeed, we had an awesome show costing you my resourceful guest, the headmaster, the football legend, the La Liga ambassador, Mr. Adepoju. Thank you so much for always, obliging to feature on this platform, to lend your voice on issues that affect us all as Nigerians, as Africans. I wish you the very best as you continue to, navigate your career life and, of course, your personal life. Thank you so much, sir, for honoring me. And this is where I draw the curtains of the show till I come your way on Thursday rather. Remember to catch me live on Inspiration FM tomorrow at 5 p.m. your drive time talk show on Real Talk with Kike. Bye now.